folks, it's finally here. Championship weekend for Season 2, and we're finishing off at Zen Joltis, one of the toughest racetracks really to win at, because this racetrack really plays into everyone's favor. It's a lot of space, a lot of room to race, and it's a restricted plate track, which we know usually always tends to play into the favor of the underdog. Well, hope you enjoyed that intro at the very beginning. If you didn't catch all those stats as far as who's how many points back, we're going to be going back through that again, because that is very important, because it's going to make the difference on who's going to be going home the champion and who's going to have to wait for next season. Well, first we'll go through the starting lineup here, and then we'll go through the scenarios real quick. Adam Chambers actually was a championship contender starting off this chase, but some recent pretty bad finishes have taken him out of mathematically being in contention for the championship here at the season finale. He actually was rather close to getting in last week at Talladega, but he was not able to, and so he's on the pole for today's race and may be able to end the season with his second Oreo Truck Series victory this season, but unfortunately he won't be racing for a championship. However, the same is not true for this guy. Nick Eggleston not only comes in mathematically in contention for the championship, but he's currently the points leader by a slim 5 points over Jake Rogers, so he's going to have a lot of pressure coming into this race. Harold Columbia going to light up there in third. He also is in championship contention. He's 36 points out, which is rather a long ways to go, but as I mentioned, Zen Joltis, anything can happen. You never know, and he is mathematically in contention. So is the guy starting off in fourth. That's Matthew Rodriguez, 22 points back, so his chance is a little bit better than Columbia's, but still, we're going to have to see how Zen Joltis plays out into this whole race and factors in to who's going to be champion. Then we got a few non-contenders in Adrian Brace and Ray Wilson. Then you got Robert Band, defending champion, and a guy who is just barely mathematically in contention. Now, here's the case for Robert Band. We're going to cover Robert Band here real quickly before we go into the rest of the starting lineup. Robert Band comes in 43 points back. That is the maximum you can be out and still be in contention for the championship. Here's what has to happen for Robert Band. Nick Eggleston has to finish dead last. Robert Band has to win the race, and Robert Band has to lead at least one lap. Eggleston cannot lead a lap, or else Robert Band's championship hopes are done for Season 2. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Then you got Sean Galligan lining up there in 8th. The rest of the top 10 for the starting lineup will be Arnold Columbia and Corey Williams. Dougie Shears, filling in for the injured Jordan Hester. Could a fill-in actually pull it off? He is in contention, 32 points back, and he'll line up alongside of Matt Nathan, another guy like Chambers who came in championship contention, but a recent streak of bad luck has taken him mathematically out of championship contention for Season 2. Angel D'Souza going to line up alongside of James Bald, and it's Jeff Ehlers, who came off a great finish of second last week at Talladega, and he'll start alongside of Jake Rogers, who comes in a mere 5 points back behind points leader Nick Eggleston. Jack Richards will line up alongside of Connor Breton, and it's Kristen Worry beside Timmy Pacioli, who comes in fourth in the standings, make that 18 points out of the top spot, so still mathematically in contention, and could easily be the champion here today. He'll start off behind him on the inside row is Cody Poe alongside of Anthony McCurry, Noel Stiller alongside of Daniel Schwab, then it's Alex Lozano beside of Ziggy Bain, Michael Harvey, another driver like Chambers and Nathan, who is mathematically out but was a championship contender starting off the chase. Harvey, Chambers, and Nathan were the three drivers who are not in contention, and he'll start off alongside of John Worry. Philip Stiller lines up beside of John Dillon, one of the furthest back in this field, who's a championship contender. He comes in third in the standings, only 14 points out of the top spot. And then on the next row, we've got Jake Cole alongside of Dylan Young. Tom Weekly will line up beside of Jacob Rodriguez. James McLeod alongside of Christian Janes. Then it's Lisa Shears beside Jake Berg. Kenny McCrory, he is a championship contender. He comes in 27 points out, and look at how far back he's starting. Back in 39th position. And then you've got Jacob Lawler, Jesse Kaplan, and Brandon Gonzalez, the rest of the field. The command to fire the engines has been given, and we have an exciting event on hand here. 16 laps of racing at Zen Joltis. This is a huge racetrack, and so really it's going to take some time to get this race finished. And at the end of it, though, we will crown ourselves a champion. Not a surprise to be seeing a lot of championship contenders starting up here inside the top 10. Eggleston, Columbia, Matthew Rodriguez, and Robert Band. Now, Nick Eggleston is starting on the high side of row 1. High side can get a bit of an advantage here at Zen Joltis, so you're going to bet that Robert Band's going to be doing everything he can to draft down low on these first few laps to make sure that Eggleston slides to the back. If Robert Band can lead a lap, that's step 1 to being able to become a back-to-back champion. But let me tell you what, he has set himself a merry task in having to become the first ever back-to-back champion. So here we go. Chambers, who is out of the championship picture, looking for win number 2 this season. Green flag is out. We are 16 laps away from crowning ourselves a champion. And you see right there, Arnold Columbia got to the inside of Robert Band, but Band's trying to close back down and get back on the inside line. Eggleston, on the other hand, going to get shoved up way to the high side. Robert Band is loving that. Harold Columbia now to the front. 36 points back. He's almost in the same kind of a boat that Robert Band is, however, not quite as extreme, but he's trying to lead the first lap. But no, look who is coming up the inside line, trying to take care of step number 1 early. That is Robert Band. He needs to do this in order to be the champion. He needs to lead at least 1 lap, but he's got Columbia behind him. Look up there, Jake Rogers, 5 points back in the championship standings, sliding to the back. Save for Columbia, save for Eggleston. All the championship contenders at the front are sliding to the back really quickly. We'll see if drivers such as Timmy Pacioli and John Dillon can capitalize as they are 4 wide here. Now this racetrack can hold up to 4 and 5 wide racing. It's when they get 6 wide that you got to start getting a little bit worried. One little slip up can cost a lot of drivers championship and race winning hopes. As Robert Band continues to lead, you gotta wonder if he had some kind of an alliance with Arnold Columbia early on in the race, said, hey, if you'll push me so I can lead 1 lap, then I'd really appreciate it. And right there, Columbia kind of almost got shoved out of line. Here comes Corey Williams to the inside, but Robert Band, he's going to complete step number 1 early and leads lap 1. Now, what he's got to do is he's got to hope that trouble strikes Nick Eggleston early and that he has to retire. If Eggleston does not retire in dead last, Robert Band's championship hopes are gone then, even though he did complete step number 1 and led a lap. Here's Corey Williams in the 15, who's on a tremendous momentum roll as of late, and he's got Dougie Shears filling in for Jordan Hester. Dougie Shears, a championship contender, due to the fact that he's filling in for Hester. He's trying to win a championship here. He comes in 32 points out. Take a look at some of these drivers here that crossed the stripe last time by. Nick Eggleston, the points leader, crossed in 12th and is still caught up there on the high side. Jake Rogers, who came in 5 points back, in an even worse position, still rim riding on that high side, back in the 34th position. How about John Dillon? He started way back in the field. Let's see if he's been able to make some ground up. He's now up to 24th and holding that inside line. He's coming up really quickly, actually. And so Dillon may be the one to capitalize on Eggleston and Rogers. But remember, we've got some pit stops that may be coming up. And on top of that, we've got a long way to go in this race. Corey Williams still leads the way. You got Dougie Shears being drafted by the ride that he had to leave in order to fill in for Hester. Cody Poe filling in his number 99. And the two of them are drafting together here at Zen Joltis. Look at Kenny McCurry there on that inside line, moving up that inside line as well. McCurry's only 27 points back, and he started, remember, all the way back in 39th position. But he is there, coming in a hurry, trying to get to the front. Robert Band is the only one who has led a lap of the championship contenders. So that gives him 1 point. These drivers, they're going to want to get up there and lead laps, so that way it will help in the championship standings here. 1 led lap could really play a factor into whether you're going to be the champion or not, as Tom Weekly and Nick Eggleston still are rim riding back there. Chambers doing the same. They are caught on that high line, cannot seem to get back to the bottom. Looking at Jake Rogers, he's managed to get down 2 or 3 grooves, but look at this. They're still racing double file. I told you the outside line does not necessarily continually fall to the back. If you got drafting partners behind you, you can battle back on the high side. And that's just what Robert Ban is doing. Robert Ban would love to be able to get up there and lead another lap. If he could get Corey Williams at the stripe here, that'd be another point, and then he'd have to finish in second if Eggleston was out of the race in 43rd position. So let's see if Ban can get him. No, just barely Corey Williams able to keep the lead there. And Robert Ban, he's not giving up. He wants another championship point if he can here. Here in this final race, every driver that is in the chase in championship contention receives a championship point. And that championship point, every lap that you lead, you get 1 point. And so that can really play out. Look at Robert Ban. Tell you what, Robert Ban, he is a man on a mission. And look who is behind him again, Columbia. I am so certain now that he and Columbia were talking with each other, and Columbia and he worked out some kind of an alliance, because I'll tell you what, Columbia has not left the back bumper of that 57. Columbia is trying to help Robert Ban win a championship here, win his second career championship, and he's doing a great job. Look at this. He's pushed Robert Ban in front. Ban is the new leader in Zen Joltis. And if he can come around lead another lap, that could be huge for Robert Ban. And look where he went. He went back up to the high side to get the draft from Arnold Columbia. He's trying to help Columbia get up there with him. Columbia still has Corey Williams to his inside, though. But Robert Ban's going to come out of turn. Let's see if he goes back up to the high side to get the draft from Arnold Columbia again. He does indeed. He wants that friendship from Arnold Columbia. And Robert Ban has picked up another championship point in the standings. Oh, right there. The Arnold Columbia machine got really squirrely as Brandon Gonzalez made it 3 wide there. And here comes Timmy Pacioli, the 33 car, right there, fourth on that inside line. That blue car is coming up to the front now. Only 18 points out of the championship right now as he came into this race, and it may have closed down even quicker here. And now Robert Ban's going to get a challenge. This time it's from Brandon Gonzalez on that inside line. Timmy Pacioli's coming as well. Oh, look at back here. Tight, tight, tight between Jake Rogers and company. There's Rogers in the 91 coming through that turn. It was awfully close. He and McCurry and Jake Cole were almost squeezing into each other. Oh, look at how tight this is. They're 5 wide there. Oh, boy. That's awfully close. They're 6 wide back there at one point there. That's a little dangerous. Ziggy Bain, Sean Galligan. Keep it together, guys. Well, how about Brandon Gonzalez, though? Has he been able to get past Robert Ban? Doesn't look like he has been able to yet, as Robert Ban continues to hold that outside line. But Gonzalez has a little bit of an advantage here. If Pacioli steps out of line, that could put Brandon Gonzalez in jeopardy and help the outside line forge ahead again in the form of Robert Ban. Ban wants to lead one more lap. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Another championship point for Robert Ban. He has now led 3 total laps. Here comes Matthew Rodriguez, 5th in the standings, 22 points out. And Jeff Ehlers, who came off his best career Oreo Truck Series finish last week at Talladega. Brandon Gonzalez still continues to try and hold down low, but Robert Ban has been having the drafting help all going his way, but now he's lost it. Now he's lost his drafting help. It was Christian Worry, and that's not going to help Robert Ban's chances right there to lead another lap. Brandon Gonzalez is going to power by. Kristen Worry really slid up through that turn, and there was really no way she could handle that race car and get back to the back bumper of Robert Ban, so Ban's going to lose the lead. As Timmy Pacioli tries battling for the lead. Now let's try and scenarioize this. Let's see if Timmy Pacioli leads this race. We're going to see where the other championship contenders ahead of him are running and see if he would end up being the champion with where he's running as opposed to the others. We're going to wait till they get around here to the start-finish line as Pacioli's about to get a challenge. Now he blocks it. And look at them, almost 5 wide for second. Chambers, Ehlers, Breton, all there. Matthew Rodriguez as well. As Pacioli has a bit of breathing room here. And he'll come down And Pacioli will lead a lap. There's a championship point for Pacioli. Now, he led the race. He would have to have Eggleston running in 23rd. Eggleston's actually running in 40th. John Dillon's running not much better, so he's ahead of Dillon and Eggleston. How about Jake Rogers, though? He would have to have Jake Rogers running back in 18th position. Rogers is running in 13th. So right now, Jake Rogers, by I believe 5 points, would be leading this race and leading the championship, I mean. Now a challenge down low. It's in the form of Alex Lozano and Jack Richards. Sean Galligan there as well as they continue to race really, really hard here at Zen Joltis. And we're getting close to green flag pit stops. They'll probably start pitting somewhere around lap 10 to 12 to try and race it to the finish. That could play into this race very much so and into the championship. Lozano now getting a challenge from Jack Richards down low. Jake Rogers getting held up there in that middle groove. He's actually gone up about 2 or 3 grooves from when we last saw him. Timmy Pacioli is stuck on the high side. Not seeing any championship contenders able to really maneuver their way down low right at the moment, as the whole inside line is monopolized with non-chase drivers. Jack Richards, Sean Galligan, Connor Breton, Daniel Schwab, John Worry, and Ziggy Bain all down that inside line. Lozano led that lap by a half car length. Or truck length. Boy, I'll tell you what, it may come down to who gets the better finish out of the chase contenders because none of them are really running that great. Now I'm starting to see some championship contenders. Nick Eggleston is 7th on that inside line. John Dillon directly behind him. So those two are starting to work their way back up once again. They continue to race 4 and 5 wide here at Zen Joltis. Still kind of safe in that way, but oh, they're 6 wide there. Eggleston's right there in that 6 wide battle. So is Timmy Pacioli. Oh my goodness, is that close coming off that turn. Boy, it's enough to make you want to cover your eyes and not look for a while because it's that close that they're running. Look at them, almost 7 wide through turn 3. And still they keep it together. And look who's coming. Right there. That car, the points leader, Nick Eggleston, coming up that inside line, trying to bring some drafting help along with him. Eggleston trying to win a championship and maybe close out the season with his second win of the season in the Oreo Truck Series. Jack Richards, though, out in front. Eggleston, remember, he has to lead a lap here because if he does not lead a lap, Robert Band does have a chance, a slim chance, but a chance to win the championship. But he's not going to. Matt Naton's going to stick him in that middle groove now, and now Nick Eggleston's going to go right back to the back again unless he can get some drafting help there. John Dillon's caught in that same middle groove that Eggleston is caught in. He needs to get ahead of Nick Eggleston and finish 15 positions further than the 14 car in order to win the championship. Plus finish ahead of Jake Rogers, who I can't really even see right now. I think he's caught way up rim riding on the highest groove. And now Nick Eggleston's put in that category as well. John Dillon trying to get by. If he could stay down that inside line, that middle groove, he could get by Nick Eggleston and maybe take home the championship. Although you've seen, I told you, the underdog always gets advantages here at restrictor blank tracks, and Jack Richards, Alex Lozano have certainly proven that. Neither one of them have victories yet this season. Richards is actually a go or go homer, been so close quite a few times, and he's trying to do it here. Looking at that inside line, trying to find championship contenders. Closest one I'm seeing is a guy who's 3rd on that inside line now. And that's Kenny McCurry in the 04. Still a long shot for him, 27 points out coming into this race, but Eggleston and Dillon and Rogers, with them sliding to the back again, it could happen. We are on lap 9 of 16. These drivers are going to have to make a pit stop soon, but when is the question? I'll tell you what, these non-chasers are certainly making it awfully difficult on all the championship contenders because they are not giving them that inside line to get to the front. The only one that's had that luck has been Robert Band, and he received that from Arnold Columbia and Kristen Worry, Columbia for the most part, and now he has slid in towards the back, and really now there's been no no love lost for these championship contenders at all by any of these non-chasers. Let's look through the field, see who's running where. Nick Eggleston, the points leader, running back. Well, he was scored in 19th last time by. How about Jake Rogers, who came in second in the standings? He is currently listed in 36th, but working his way back to the front. John Dillon in the 24, who came in 14 points out, currently crossed the stripe in 22nd. Timmy Pacioli, who came in 18 points back, listed all the way back in 37th. How about Matthew Rodriguez, who came in 22 points back? He's listed back in 34th. Kenny McCurry, who came in 27 points back in the 6th position in the standings, is currently listed in 18th. As we got a battle on for the lead, Lisa Shears looks like she'll lead that. Let's look further back. Dougie Shears, who comes in 7th in the standings, filling in for Jordan Hester, listed in 28th on the racetrack. He's 32 points back coming into this race. Harold Columbia, not seeing much of him at the front, 36 points back, and he's listed in 39th. And Robert Band, who came in with that really slim chance of winning the championship, currently running in the 20th position. Back up to the front, if we can get there. There's Arnold Columbia, the guy. I guess good things happen to guys who do good things. Columbia helped Robert Band, and look at Robert Band actually coming up that inside line. I wonder if Band would return the favor to Columbia here. It'd be interesting to see if that would happen. But Columbia's going to get a challenge, though. Columbia's going to get challenged. And it's going to be Christian James making that challenge in the 13. Just one second, I'm going to step aside and see what that phone call is. Thanks for bearing with me. I had the phone ringing, had to answer it. Anyway, Christian James leads. Robert Band right there, though. He is there, and he is second. Right now, he would only have to finish in second position in order, or well, he's going to try and battle for the lead here with Dougie Shears helping him, but Nick Eggleston has to be running back in 42nd. Well, he's running just about there right now. If the race ended, Robert Band may have been the champion. But right now, we still have about 4 laps to go. And I'm surprised these guys haven't made the green flag pit stops yet. I said about laps 10 to 12. They're going to be making pit stops shortly, though. I can guarantee you that. Just not exactly sure when. Robert Band back to the inside. He wants to lead another lap. If so, he'd have led 4 laps. That'd be the most of any championship contender so far today. Only other driver that's a championship contender that has led a lap is Timmy Pacioli, and he led 1. Robert Band so far has led 3. And look at this. He's got Kristen Worry, who he was working with earlier on, right back with him on that inside line. Tell you what, Robert Band, if anybody can win a championship and knows how to do it with a slim margin, it would have to be Robert Band because he's done it before. He's won an Oreo Truck Series championship. He is the defending champion, and he wants to be a back-to-back Oreo Truck Series champion. We're also seeing Jake Rogers, Matthew Rodriguez working their way back up to the front once again here in the closing stages. Kenny McCurry as well. The championship contenders are coming now. Timmy Pacioli is there as well. And Robert Band gets another championship point as he leads 1 more lap. He's making it even closer with every lap he ticks off as we have a total of 4 laps to go. I'm surprised we haven't had a caution the way these guys are racing, but they've been racing hard and clean, and that's what's made for some great racing here. Jake Rogers got stuck in that middle groove again. He's going to the back. Timmy Pacioli coming to the inside line. If Pacioli could hold on, he could be the champion. He's got to finish a total of 4 spots ahead of John Dillon, 13 spots ahead of Jake Rogers, and 19 spots over Nick Eggleston. Can it be done? Eggleston, I'm trying to see if he's gotten back to the inside line. He has. Eggleston's coming back to the front. Eggleston is coming back to the front. He is 4th on that inside line. Nick Eggleston trying to get the championship here. comes in with a 5-point advantage, but he's getting challenged down low now. Angel D'Souza are going to stick him in the middle groove again. And Timmy Pacioli stuck up there as well. Who will capitalize here? Who can capitalize? I don't know. But right now, Robert Ban is looking to lead lap number 5. Robert Ban, this guy, just no keeping away from the front. 5 laps led for the defending champ. Now he's going to get his first challenge down low. It's Kenny McCurry. Oh boy. 3 laps to go. It all comes down to this. Now, Nick Eggleston, remember he was caught in that outside line? John Dillon is coming up that inside line now. Dillon has to finish 15 spots ahead of Eggleston and a mere 9 positions ahead of Jake Rogers to take the championship. But now he gets caught in that middle groove as well. Oh my goodness, it's all going to come down to who finishes the best here, folks. It is not going to be who's going to win the race, really. It's going to come down to who has the better finish. As Matthew Rodriguez right there, you saw him rim riding with no drafting help whatsoever. But I'm trying to see if there are any championship contenders making a charge here at the finish. Look at John Dillon. He's found his way back to the inside line all of a sudden. How did he do that? I have no idea. He was caught in the middle groove, got back to the inside line. He's trying to make a move here, trying to get Eggleston to fall to the back. If Eggleston falls to the back and Dillon holds his ground, Dillon could be the champion. Oh boy. It's shaping up to be a regular fight to the finish here for the championship. And what better place to do it than at this track, Zen Joltis, one of the most exciting racetracks ever on the circuit. Well, maybe these guys aren't going to have to make pit stops under the green flag. Maybe the draftings help them with their fuel mileage. But John Dillon's been moving into that middle groove. Once again, Eggleston is rim riding there 4 wide. Jake Rogers has fallen to the back. Now John Dillon, in order to win the championship, he needs Eggleston to fall back quite a bit. Dillon, on the other hand, cannot fall back. If he does, he may lose out in the championship. Look at him. He's forced his way back into that middle groove again. He's holding that middle groove, which is just about 1 groove from that lower groove. He needs to hold it there, but he is side by side with Eggleston. He needs to be 15 positions ahead of Eggleston at the finish of this race. Can he do it? And look who's coming, our pole sitter, Adam Chambers. I told you he wants to end this season with a win, his 2nd career win. Here he comes. He is there, and he's got a run on that inside line. Meanwhile, Dillon and Eggleston still side by side, 2 laps to go. Actually, now make it 1.5. Dillon is probably hoping and praying that Nick Eggleston gets shoved up to that high groove because he's going to have to lose a ton of spots here in these closing stages. Dillon, on the other hand, has to hold his ground. Chambers leads the way. Lozano, he's led some laps. He's up there. Same for Jack Richards, who is also there. But Chambers will lead a lap here. White flag is displayed. And John Dillon has been moved up a groove. And Eggleston's going to challenge him down low. Eggleston is there. Nick Eggleston's trying to fight for all he's worth to be able to win the championship. So is John Dillon. They are side by side. They're about 3 or 4 rows back. And now Eggleston is to the inside of John Dillon. Oh boy. And it may be a battle between Chambers and Lozano for the champion, or for not for the championship, but the win here at Zen Joltis. Cody Poe drafts Chambers up high. Jack Richards drafting Lozano down low. Dillon's caught on the high side. Oh, big wreck! Big wreck! Big wreck! Oh my goodness! Who was involved though? Was Eggleston involved? I think he was. Eggleston was involved! Eggleston was involved! And Jake Rogers has gotten by! On the final lap, a wreck takes out Nick Eggleston, and Jake Rogers is going to win the championship. There he is. It's first rookie season. Jake Rogers in the 91 is going to win the championship if he's able to maintain where he is and not wreck out. Meanwhile, we'll watch this race to the finish. Alex Lozano down low. Adam Chambers up high. Lozano with the advantage, but Chambers will try and battle back here on the straightaway. At the stripe, here we go. Who's it going to be? It is Chambers by a splitter. Chambers will win the race, and Jake Rogers, the rookie, will pull it off He'll finish in 12th position, and he is your Oreo Truck Series champion. Unbelievable. Jake Rogers made it through that wreck there on the final lap, capitalizes, and he will take the championship for the Oreo Truck Series Season 2. Oh man, Jake Berg was involved in that wreck. Ray Wilson. There's Eggleston. There's Robert Band. There's Timmy Pacioli. Oh my goodness. Jacob Rodriguez. Jesse Kaplan. Jacob Lawler. John Dillon may have been involved. Man, that was close. Alright, so let's step aside now. Look at the championship standings and the finishing order. Okay, before we show you the finishing order, let's take a look at the replay, see what involved all those championship contenders. Watch down there, the 15 and the 20 of Corey Williams and Jake Berg. They're just going to barely make a little bit of contact right there. And Jake Berg gets clipped by Lisa Shears, goes up, gets Adrian Brace. There's Nick Eggleston, nowhere to go for the 14. Jacob Lawler was involved. Ray Wilson up and on his side. You see John Dillon. I don't know if Dillon really was involved. I know he got held up back there, though. And see Robert Band getting turned back there. Sideways. Tough break for him. Guy who was championship contender and led the most laps today. And see Lisa Shears turned back there. It's a lot of smoke. Hard to tell other drivers that were involved. You got Matthew Rodriguez back there at one point. There you got Robert Band right there. There's John Dillon. Just behind Robert Band there you see the rear end of Nick Eggleston's car. There's Matthew Rodriguez. I think Timmy Pacioli spun into the infield. Jacob Rodriguez was also in it. And this wreck gives the championship over to rookie Jake Rogers. Further ado, here's how the championship standings looked like, and boy did Jake Rogers cash in big. Look at this. Nobody was close to catching Jake Rogers after that last lap. 22-point win over Nick Eggleston. Harold Columbia moved up very nicely to 3rd. Kenny McCurry 4th, John Dillon 5th, Adam Chambers 6th, Matthew Rodriguez 7th, Timmy Pacioli, Matt Nathan, Jordan Hester, or Dougie Shears, whichever you want there. He is 10th, Michael Harvey 11th, and look at defending champion Robert Band. That last lap wreck did not help him. He's going to finish off the year dead last in the chase standings. But we're also going to walk you through the rest of the standings for this year. It's been an incredible year, and here's the way that it looked. In 13th was James Bald, 14th was Philip Stiller. Cody Poe did a great job finishing off the season for 15th for Dougie Shears. Look at some of these other drivers that were up here. Adrian Brace, who had 2 wins. Here's a look at the guys that are going to have to qualify their way in next year if they're here. Noel Stiller, Christian James, Connor Breton, Jack Richards, James McLeod. They'll have to qualify their way in to the Daytona 500. Ralph Green as well. Jared Crocious, Robert Cruz, Evan Nugent, Murphy, Wilson. Jeff Ehlers had another fairly good run here today. And Mark George, of course, we haven't had word that Mark George will not be returning to the Oreo Truck Series next season. All right, so Jake Rogers has won the championship, but has he pulled it off 2 for 2 and won Rookie of the Season? The official standings for that are in. The answer is no. John Dillon is the Rookie of the Year in the Oreo Truck Series. 13-point advantage over Harold Columbia. 14-point advantage over Jake Rogers, and here's the rest of the rookies where they finished in the standings. So congrats to John Dillon on that, as he has won Rookie of the Season, even though he didn't win the championship. Well, we ended up having a race that ended with a 13 1/1000th of a second finish. Jake Rogers took home the championship, his first ever as a rookie. John Dillon wins the Rookie of the Year in the number 24, even though he didn't win the championship. And it all got settled out in a last lap wreck that involved 4 championship contenders. What's going to happen next season? Have no idea, but really am looking forward to it. Be watching the sign-ups for Season 3 in the Oreo Truck Series will be out very soon, so be keeping your eyes posted here on the NNSCRA channel for that to come out, and we're looking forward to Season 3. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed Season 2. You've been watching the Oreo Truck series.